The shadows over Weatherfield are stretching darker and colder as we move toward a truly terrifying turning point for Todd Grimshaw. We are about to witness one of the most haunting episodes in the history of the show, a special installment that strips away every layer of distance between the viewer and the violence. Todd is trapped in a domestic nightmare that intensifies with every passing hour, and actor Gareth Pierce has issued a chilling warning that his character is edging dangerously close to a point of no return. With a unique filming style that uses CCTV and body camera footage, the audience will experience the raw, unfiltered brutality of Theo's abuse. If you are as hooked on the drama of the Cobbles as we are and want to make sure you never miss a single twist, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel Coronation Street UK. This upcoming special episode promises to be a claustrophobic masterclass in tension. By shifting to surveillance-style shots and digital recording, the show forces us to become unwilling witnesses instead of passive viewers. Gareth Pierce has spoken openly about how this filming approach mirrors the suffocating entrapment Todd feels. There is no escape. Every corner of that flat, which should have been a sanctuary, has instead turned into a prison cell. The physical violence has become routine, a grim daily reality that Todd must normalize simply to survive. It is heartbreaking to imagine the sharp, witty Todd we once knew now beaten into submission, stripped of his confidence, and cut off from the world around him. Gareth shared that the toughest part of filming has not only been the heavy emotional weight of the storyline but also the real-life isolation from his castmates. He is used to spending time laughing with Tony Maudsley and Daniel Brocklebank on set, but this storyline has forced him to withdraw, mirroring the way Theo isolates Todd from his support system. Yet there is a powerful purpose behind all this darkness. Gareth hopes the storyline sheds light on the reality of abuse in same-sex relationships, a subject that is still too often overlooked. By showing the mechanics of control, the manipulation, the isolation, the gaslighting, and the physical intimidation, the show challenges the outdated belief that men cannot be victims. Gareth has already received messages from survivors whose experiences resonate with this storyline, proving its impact. It is uncomfortable to watch but essential. Fans are waiting with breath held tight to see whether that spark of the old cunning Todd still remains. Can he find the strength to turn the tables on Theo? Police involvement in upcoming scenes suggests a breaking point is near, but whether it leads to freedom or deeper tragedy remains the most gripping question. Meanwhile, a different kind of tension is building for young Will Driscoll. This storyline feels like a slow-motion catastrophe. Will is lonely, vulnerable, and starving for connection, making him the perfect target for a predatory situation. The introduction of Megan as a romantic interest is laced with danger. We see Will, barely 16 years old, pouring all his hopes and dreams into this woman who holds power over him. The betrayal is painful because the adults around him are genuinely trying to help. Bernie Winter believed she was supporting him by introducing him to Brody, unaware she was fueling jealousy that pushed Will closer to Megan. The birthday sequence is especially tragic. Ben and Eva want nothing more than to make Will feel loved with a heartfelt surprise. But Will, blinded by infatuation and craving the twisted validation Megan gives him, rejects genuine affection for something dangerous and forbidden. The hotel room scene is set to be heart-stopping. The image of Will and Megan ignoring the calls from his family creates a deep knot of dread. When the banging on the door begins, it is not just fear of being discovered. It is the collision of two worlds. If Ben is the one outside, the fallout will be catastrophic. It forces questions about consent, power, and the naive vulnerability of a teenager who mistakes manipulation for love. Across Weatherfield, the Bailey family faces their own upheaval, proving that secrets never remain buried for long. Dee Bailey dropping a shocking announcement right after securing a new job is classic soap chaos. Ed, Michael, and James will be blindsided. The writers are keeping the truth hidden, but the reaction hints that this revelation threatens the very foundation of the family. The Baileys have survived financial ruin and battles with addiction, but internal secrets can wound deeper than outside threats. Watching how Ed handles this will be fascinating. He tries so hard to hold the family together, yet every time he thinks he has succeeded another fracture appears. Meanwhile, the domestic tension at the Metcalf's house is painfully relatable compared to the high-stakes drama elsewhere. Sally and Tim trying to foster Joni and Shanice is a storyline full of heart but laden with challenges. Sally is someone who prides herself on order and rules, but fostering requires flexibility she struggles with. Banning Joni from a party because of a bad influence is typical parental instinct, but to a foster child already feeling displaced, it feels like rejection. The arrival of Fizz and her girls becomes the spark that ignites Joni's outburst, exposing her deep insecurity. Shouting that Sally will never be her mother is brutal, but comes from a wounded place. The Christmas tree crashing down is symbolic of the chaos invading Sally's perfectly arranged world. It is a reminder that emotional wounds cannot be fixed with festive breakfasts or house rules. Then there is the tangled mess James Bailey is creating with Carl Webster. Drunken texts are a universal recipe for regret, but in a soap they are explosive. James asking Carl to forget the message is pointless. The moment Carl loses his phone, the tension skyrockets. In Weatherfield, if a phone goes missing, it always ends up in the wrong hands. Abby peering at the phone is the cliffhanger that promises mayhem. What did the text say? How damaging was it? Carl is already drowning in trouble with the stolen vehicle ring, and personal drama is the last thing he needs. Speaking of Carl, the revelation that he was behind the hit and run that injured Tyrone adds a devastating layer of betrayal. This connects to the excellent news that Alan Halsell has signed on for another year. Tyrone Dobbs is woven into the fabric of the street, and knowing he is staying and receiving a major storyline is a relief. The fact that his own friend Carl caused his injury and is running a stolen car operation right under his nose sets the stage for an explosive confrontation. Tyrone has been a victim too many times, but his resilience is what fans love. Watching him uncover the truth about Carl will be a defining moment in the months ahead. Finally, the reassurance about Sue Devaney and her character Debbie Webster is essential. Dementia storylines are incredibly challenging to portray. There is always fear the character will be reduced to only their diagnosis. The producers promise a slow burn approach, allowing Debbie to remain her lively, sharp, funny, scheming self for as long as possible. Debbie is a force of nature, and stripping her identity overnight would be a disservice. Seeing her continue to live fully even as subtle signs of memory loss appear will make each moment more emotional because of the contrast to her usual brilliance. The coming weeks on Coronation Street promise to be a masterclass in drama. From the terrifying reality of Todd's abuse to the illicit danger surrounding Will to the heartbreaking family struggles of the Baileys and Metcalfs and the simmering betrayal between Tyrone and Carl, every character is standing on the edge. Todd is fighting for his life. Will is risking his future. Tyrone is unaware of the snake hiding in his grass. The writers are weaving these stories into a gripping tapestry that will keep viewers glued to the screen. It is dark, emotional, and everything that makes this show unforgettable. We are rooting for Todd to find his escape, for Will to see the danger before it destroys him, and for the truth to finally erupt on the cobbles. The festive period is usually a time of joy, but in Weatherfield this season looks like a reckoning. Make sure you are watching, because when these secrets explode, nothing on the street will ever be the same.